Hey everybody, so we're done with the basement for today. So what we're going to do is I have a whole bunch of those loofahs that I grew, and I want to kind of like start quick drying them. And I went online, of course, to TikTok, and Dana's Wannabe Farm had an idea of drying them initially in the oven so you can get the outside off, and then you let them dry the rest of the way for about a month or two once you get to the cores. So I'm going to try this. Now, she heats our oven to 350, I think it was. And then she states to cut off the ends. But first, I have my cookie sheet and I have my parchment paper. A little trick on your parchment paper, you grab a spritz of water, or I just do a little bit of the cooking spray. And I put it down there, and it helps keep the paper on there and a little flatter. But anyway, she states to cut off the ends so you can get good circulation. So I'm just going to use my knife, or my scissors, but it's not a knife, and cut off the ends. This is the inside of a loofah. Now, if I want to get the seeds, I'm not going to cook those first because that will ruin the seeds. But you want air circulation. So I'm cutting off the ends and I'm going to put them on here. I'm going to kind of choose because I got a bunch of different sizes. The smaller ones I probably won't do, but I might. We'll see what it looks out. So hang on. So here's my first tray, and I'm going to put these in the oven for 45 minutes, she states. Note to self, take out the eggs, shells that you have in there drying before you do that. So I totally forgot a step, and I had to pull them out real quick. What she did is she put some slits in the top of them and in the bottom, and that's to help the steam escape because there's a lot of moisture in there. And she just did that throughout the whole thing, so I'm doing that right now. Now we're going to let that cook for 45 minutes, and then you have to let them cool completely. Now some of them may super deflate. That means there was a ton of moisture in there. And once they're completely cool, I'll come back and we can peel them together to see what they look like. And then you're still going to have to let them set out for a month or two so they can completely dry. The core can completely dry. Then you have your own loofahs. So check back with me in a little bit and we will try to peel them. Okay, so I just took them out of the oven and I took them off the tray, although I'm going to put them back on because there's a lot of liquid on the tray, and there's going to be. So I'm putting the tray back over here with the liquid off, and I have a cookie rack that I put them on so they'll cool quicker. So hang on, and I'm going to grab the other set out of the oven, and I've got another cookie rack that I'm going to put them on because you want them completely cool. Now these are a little bit deflated. She said that's normal, a lot of moisture, but these two are really good. So hang on. Now this one here doesn't have as much moisture on the rack, which is good. So I'm just going to put them on here so they can dry. And there's a couple of different varieties of loofahs on here that I got. Now these smaller ones probably, see how much liquid's coming out of that? Are not really going to work, but you never know. So I need to get another rack. Hang on. And it kind of smells like pumpkin in my house, or squash, because that's, you know, it's a gourd. So basically, hot. I guess I could use tongs if I wanted to. But I'm lazy and don't want to go back and get tongs. All right, this one had a lot more liquid on the second one. So we're going to do that. And again, some of these that are super deflated are probably not going to work, but I won't know until they completely cool and we try to peel them. And it's okay if they don't, because I don't need a ton of loofah. This is just for me this year. So anyway, we are going to let these cool for quite a while. I've got a cookie sheet underneath of it so it can catch all the drippings. I'm going to empty this out and then wash these cookie trays. Who would have thunk that the cookie cooling racks would come in handy for this? So I'll get back to you and we'll see if we can peel them as soon as they got to be like really, really cool. So I'm going to give them a couple hours, 3 hours, they could do their thing. Hey there guys, we're back and the loofah has cooled for quite a while. And I mean, it's still dripping, it's still really moist. And I did read online that you could possibly use your dehydrator to dehydrate the core even quicker. So what we're going to do is I came over here. I'm going to do it over a bowl because it's still dripping. And I cut a little bit into it. And basically all I'm going to do is peel. And it's real kind of slimy feeling. Be careful not to squish it. But there's my loofah. Now you can do a couple different things. You can like hang this downstairs or put it on a shelf to let it dry physically, she said, for a month or two. I'm going to try my dehydrator. But basically this is the inside of the skin. Now some of these that have deflated, she said to take a pair of scissors and you can slit it up the side. This is one that deflated. I'm not sure what it's going to look like. So let's take a quick look here. See if we can peel that skin back at all. Yeah, see that one's kind of like a hot mess. That one's not going to work. And that's okay. Like we talked about. I am completely 100% fine with that. Because I am making loofahs for myself, so I don't need a ton of loofahs. And this is my first experience with it. So here we go. And there's going to be seeds in here. And once this thing dries, we're going to be able to shake it out. And then the seeds will fall out. Now these seeds, because I had them in the oven, will not grow. Now see, I kind of got like a slimy tail there. So I'm going to cut that off and do that. So I'm going to go and see what I can do, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so out of those loofahs that I got, the two best ones were my two biggest ones. This is a learning experience for me. So like for next year, I'm really going to let them get big. They're really, really wet though on the inside, which is to be expected. And I have a little one here that looks fairly good. Like I said, the seeds are on the inside. Here's another like medium-sized one. So I probably have 3 or 4 good ones here. Now, what she does is she lets them sit out on the counter downstairs and lets them naturally dry. I'm going to cut this extra tail off here. And lets them dry over the next couple months or so. I'm going to actually put these in my dehydrator. Hopefully it won't ruin them, but I want to try this out since this is my first year doing it. And there's all the seeds that are inside. As I said, I'm not worried about it because as soon as this dries, I'm going to be able to shake it out and get the seeds out of there. So I'm going to put this in the dehydrator at about 120. And I'm just going to monitor it because I want this really, really dry. And I will keep you guys updated. And I'll give you a part 2 of what my loofah looks like when we're done. Talk to you guys later.